Okay, welcome back to another episode of Lockdown Cookdown. Today we're gonna make sourdough bread. I'm gonna teach you step by step how to make it. What we need for our recipe is flour, water, salt, sourdough starter, a scale, a bench scraper, a bread basket. If you don't have a bread basket, you can use a normal bowl, and a blade to cut your dough. If you don't have that, you can use a sharp knife. Will do the job. This is a recipe that will take a lot of hours, but most of them will be inactive. In these recipes, we are using 3 different types of flour: baker's flour, rye flour, and wholemeal flour. But you can change the recipe and just play with normal baker flours. The first thing we need to do is hydrate the flour. We take our flour in a bowl and we add the water. Dig your hand in and start to mix everything. Just make sure you scrape all the side and just squeeze it and try to incorporate all the flour. Don't worry about mixing too much. This one should be more like a shaggy mass at the moment. And that's how it should look like. Not dry flour, all incorporated. What we do next is covering with Glad wrap. Perfect. Just leave this one on a side. And now we're gonna do what is called the levain. We're gonna take some of the sourdough starter and weight on a scale 100 grams. This is a rye starter, but you can start with any flour you like. I love rye because it just gives a little bit more sourness on the final product. And soon as well I will do a video recipe where I'm gonna show you every step for making your starter. So what I did, I put 100 grams of starter, 50 grams of water, and 50 grams of rye flour. Just give it a nice mix. Make sure everything is incorporated. Make it flat, and then put a line so we can see when it's proofing. Put a lid on top, let it rest for 6-7 hours. To speed up a little bit of the process, we can even put in the oven with just the light on. So you're gonna give like a little bit warmer environment to ferment even faster. All right, it has been around 7 hours and our sourdough should be ready. As you can see, it doubled up the volume. So we are ready to mix it in our dough. Smells deliciously yeasty, fruity, sweet. Wow. Okay, we put 115 grams of the levain. And with your finger, just dig it in and give it a nice mix. Just with your finger. Okay, now we're ready to let it rest for under 30 minutes, covered with Glad wrap, back in the oven, only with the light on. Okay, it has been half an hour and we're ready to put our salt into the dough. Okay, just sprinkle 15 grams of salt. What I suggest is having a little bit of water where you can dip your hand so your dough won't stick on your hands, and just keep folding from the side. You just pull it and fold it on top, very, very gently. Very, very gently. You keep stretching and folding and make sure all your salt is incorporated. The trick for a good sourdough is being very gentle every time. Okay, now we need to try to pull our dough up from the bottom to the top. Just keep adding air inside. Keep doing this for another 5 minutes. Alright, it has been 5 minutes roughly. Our dough looks already more shiny and doesn't stick as much. What we do now, we're gonna transfer it in a clean bowl. And you just give a last fold 4 times, stretching the edge. Okay, our dough is ready to go on bulk fermentation. We cover it and we let it rest for another hour. All right, it has been an hour and our sourdough should be at the beginning of the fermentation. As you can see, it looks like very, very soft, but don't worry about that. I'm gonna start to fold it now, and we're gonna start to build a little bit more body. Dip your hand in water, lose the side, Keep your hand wet so the dough doesn't stick. We're gonna do a set of 6 folding. So we pull on the bottom, we pull one side and we fold on the top. Then we twist like that. Grab the other side, we pull and we fold in the middle. And we do just a total of 4. So one from each side. Okay, we're gonna put it now in the fridge, leave it overnight, and we'll see tomorrow morning. Okay, our dough has been resting for the last 14 hours, and that's how it should look like. See, we got some bubbles, the volume is raised, almost, not quite double, but like almost. And now we're ready to shape it. Again, with our water, make your hands and just loose the side very gently. We want to try to keep all the air bubbles inside. Okay, what we should do now is just put a little bit of flour on our bench. So your dough won't stick. And very gently, and now we do the first shaping. Dip your hands in flour and very gently fold it in half. See how beautiful the bubbles are coming? Fold the other corner in the middle. You want to just fold it and leave it where it is. You can use a bench scraper if you have one, just to make sure it doesn't stick on the bottom. And again, fold on the top. Fold it again. And fold it again. And now flip it upside down. That's your reshape. What you want to do is try to tuck all these swirl underneath with your hands, and gently with your finger try to pull it close to you, so we start to build some tension on the bottom. Flip it a little bit. That's a very gentle process. You just to pull it towards you. And make sure you see what I'm doing. I'm just like with my finger I'm pulling towards me, and we try to have a little bit more tension on the surface. Okay, we can put a little bit of flour on top. We cover it with a kitchen towel and we let it rest for another 30 minutes. Meanwhile, put your pizza stone in the oven to heat up. If you don't have a pizza stone, you can still use a flat tray, that will do the job. We turn the oven on the maximum. Mine goes at 250, that should be fine. And this is another trick that's gonna make your bread way more crusty and will help to raise the bread even more. If you have like a really large and deep pot, put your pot in the oven on the pizza stone, maximum temperature, and leave it there for 45 minutes. Okay, next step, very important part is to flour our basket. A generous amount, we can still remove it after, but we need to make sure all our basket is covered in flour. Very important part, if you don't have enough flour on your basket, you're not gonna stick and it will ruin all your hard work. Okay, now it's time for the last shaping. Our dough has rested a little bit. Sprinkle a little bit more flour on top, very gentle. Make sure your dough is covered in flour. That will help to release it from the basket. Again, if you don't have a basket, you can use a normal bowl lined with a cloth. Try to lose a little bit your dough from the bench. And we do the same process as before. With some flours on your hand, pull it and try to fold it on the bottom. If it's stick, I just add a little bit more flour, and you just pull it with your finger and try to bring everything in the middle. Very gentle. See how much more tension we are bringing on the surface. That will help to make it rise and have a really nice sear when we do the cut. See. Pull towards you. Sure, always you have some flour on your bench. See how beautiful, how much more tension we have now. Little dust of flour. And now we are ready to put it into the Banneton. Leave it rest for another 30 minutes and then we can bake it. Make sure it's not stuck on the bench. And with one really quick and fast movement, we try to grab it and put it back in the Banneton. Like that. Very gentle in our Banneton. To build some more tension as well, I suggest to pull the side into the middle and try to stick them together. Just pinch them. Close the seam and again cover it with a kitchen towel and leave it rest for another 30 minutes. Okay, we're ready to bake our bread. Oven is on temperature, bread is proofed. What we need now is a square of baking paper. Just to be sure, check that your dough is not stuck on the side. We need as well a scoring knife to put a little bit of oil on the blade. This will help when you cut the top to don't stick. In one quick movement, flip your dough into the baking paper. Check with your hands underneath if it's stuck or not. It looks like perfect. Just gently remove. And if you have some excess flour, you can just remove it with a brush. And now it's time to score it. We need to score the bread from one side to the other with a 45 angle degrees, so something like that, in one quick movement. You can just adjust little pieces if it's not quite cut. Should not deep, like I would say a couple of millimeters. And now we're ready to bake it. Remove your pot from the oven. Be careful to don't burn yourself. Pull the tray out and put your bread in the oven in the middle of your stone. Cover with a pot and back in the oven for 25 minutes. Okay, 25 minutes. We're ready to remove our pot. And look how beautiful it looks like. And then back in the oven. We turn it down to 200 degrees and we bake it for another 20 minutes. Reduce a little bit the temperature again and we go around 180 for another 20 minutes. Okay, it's time for the last step. We cooked on 180, now we reduce down to 160 and we cook it for another 20 minutes. Okay, 20 minutes is gone. Final step, we're gonna turn our oven off and leave the dough ajar. This will help to dry a little bit the outside and have a nice crunchy crust. Okay, it's time to check on our sourdough. Look how beautiful it looks like. Lovely. Oh, I wish you can smell that. Thank you for watching today and hope to see you on the next episode of Lockdown Cookdown. Ciao!